Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Primm Pass, and more specifically, we're going to explore if you can get through Primm Pass at level 1 on very hard difficulty. Here's me switching the difficulty just so you can see I am not lying, and we will also cover this later on just for, well, numerous reasons. Now, a while back I covered Primm Pass on the Unexplored Mojave. If you haven't checked out the Unexplored Mojave, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a pretty cool series that we started on this channel, where we just explore random places throughout the Mojave, some well-known, some not known, but we kind of go over interesting facts, interesting locations, interesting things, and, we try to, educate ourselves about various locations in the Mojave. Anyways, in the course of the Unexplored Mojave, we came across Primm Pass, which provides us a connection from Primm to basically Novak. However, we have a big issue with Primm Pass. There is a deathclaw right in between Primm Pass, preventing us from going from Primm to Novak easily. So I wanted to find out, if you're at level 1 on very hard difficulty, can you make your way to Novak? So let's find out. Now, before I began my journey, I had absolutely nothing on this character. This character is Marvin Montgomery, our good friend. Didn't have anything and decided to stop at the train yard here, and we picked up some alcohol and some other random stuff, but nothing that useful. As we approached Primm Pass, which is just directly east of Primm, we decided to save. That way, when we die multiple times, we can try again. Then I decided to crouch, and immediately we got a caution sign. This is because the guardian of Primm Pass is a blind deathclaw. And if you didn't know, blind deathclaws are better than regular deathclaws because they have better perception, meaning you cannot sneak past them very easily. As you can see here, I had caution. As soon as I discovered Primm Pass, the deathclaw was pissed off. Then I decided to dodge his freaking attack. I almost died with his second attack. I don't know why he did not attack again. And then I ran and I ran and I ran, pretty much just praying and praying and praying to, well, RN Jesus, RNG. And, well, we got really lucky. On our very, 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 very first attempt of going through Primm Pass at level 1 on very hard difficulty, we got through. What luck. And at this point, I was actually in disbelief. I decided to jump on top of this shack just to make sure I was safe. And yeah, I was pretty safe. After this, I decided to make my way down towards the Ranger Station Charlie, and then we can make our way towards Novak. This was much easier than I ever could have anticipated, and well, if I just put this on YouTube, it wouldn't make for a very good video. And just to prove the gameplay difficulty is very hard, there you can see it. So, Marvin Montgomery was very successful and very lucky on his first playthrough. I think we have to consider that Marvin Montgomery is an absolute badass who has all of the luck on his side, which is why he was able to get through this challenge on his very first attempt like an absolute boss. After being chased by a mole rat down the road here, we finally arrived at Novak, and the challenge was complete. And then we had Malcolm Holmes show up to, yell at us and, just tell us about stars, sunsets, Asperella caps. After that, I decided to beat him to death just to see how difficult it was. And it was pretty difficult. And then I ended up getting beat to death by 2 older people, or 2 elderly people. So, that's something. But then I decided to try and replicate what we had just accomplished. And what I found out, I was so fucking lucky on my very first attempt. After this, I died, and I died, and I died, and, well, I died again. And this challenge is very difficult. Now, however, through multiple attempts and trying to figure out how to get through this area, I do think there is actually a strategy if you want to sneak your way through Primm Pass. Now, of course, I don't know how valuable this information truly is, since you can easily sneak your way through Black Mountain to get to the New Vegas Strip. However, I thought this would be a really fun challenge to attempt, and just some more content and some more information for the YouTube and for New Vegas itself. And as you can see here, what I learned was on the right side we have this kind of wall. And I became very interested in this wall because you can kind of jump up on it. And as we'll see later on, this piece of information is absolutely critical to developing a strategy to get past this deathclaw consistently. But very importantly, on this kind of middle rock in Primm Pass, you're actually safe from the deathclaw. He will not attack you if you're on this middle rock. So as long as you stand up there, he'll just run away because that's what the AI is programmed to do. They run away from you if they're unable to hit you. Now here I was sneaking extremely slowly, and something really, really weird happened. The deathclaw didn't spawn, and I was able to get through Primm Pass without any issues whatsoever. Now it's also worth mentioning that to the south of Primm Pass is Deadwind Cavern, and at Deadwind Cavern, well, there are several deathclaws, so do not head that way. Head the direction I head, that way you don't make your life more difficult for yourself. If you get lucky enough to get past that deathclaw, for whatever reason, he didn't spawn on that attempt, and we'll see this happen one more time, so it's definitely possible. Now here you can see the deathclaw runs away when I'm on this middle rock. After this, if you jump up and kind of keep jumping to the right, you will eventually get on this little wall on the right side here, which will force the deathclaw to run away from you even more, and this is really good. You can actually hug this wall on the right for a significant period of time, and if you approach the deathclaw, he will continue to run away from you. After that, you can run off the wall and run towards this shack. This shack is important because you can easily jump on top of the shack, but the deathclaw cannot get on top of the shack. Therefore, it is a very safe place from the blind deathclaw. And after this, if you just wait on top for a while, you'll be safe. And the reason for that is there are some like raiders or fiends or something off in the distance, so the deathclaw will get distracted and he'll stop attacking you. Here is me again replicating the exact same strategy. However, this time the deathclaw didn't run towards the south, he instead just kind of hugged that wall. Either way, I was able to get on top of the shack, and then we can again continue our way towards Novak. So this method is very consistent. And just to prove it to you, I decided to load up another save, which we have two bears high-fiving here. That's the name of the character and one of my favorite Easter eggs within Zion Valley. If you don't know what that is, please search it up. It's pretty amazing. Anyways, as we take on here, two bears high-fiving my character, we ran towards Primm Pass, who's a level 3 on very hard difficulty. We want to see how we can replicate this method. And as we approached, we ran towards the middle, crouched, looted this dead bright follower that's located in Primm Pass, obviously killed by the deathclaw, and the deathclaw did not spawn. So I do believe there is a method to possibly make the deathclaw despawn. If you approach Primm Pass very quickly, it appears that the deathclaw does not spawn. However, on my second attempt, I discovered Primm Pass, and then I crouched, and immediately it was caution. So I don't know what makes the deathclaw despawn specifically. However, it is definitely possible, and you can definitely replicate it. If you have any more information about why that is, please post it in the comments section below. But here you can see me hugging the right side wall, using that middle rock just before, and then the deathclaw will run away, and we can easily navigate our way through Primm Pass. And there you can see, 4 times in a row, we were able to safely navigate Primm Pass, which is pretty good if you ask me. So it is definitely possible, even on very hard difficulty, and I do think we developed a bit of a strategy here. So is it possible to navigate Primm Pass on very hard difficulty at level 1? Yeah, definitely it is possible. In fact, it is something that you yourself can replicate if you just follow these easy steps. I had a lot of fun making this video. When I started, I had nothing to work with. There's not much information on Primm Pass to begin with. So I found this very interesting, and I'm glad I made this video because I learned a lot about the game itself, and I hope you learned something as well. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any ideas for a future video or future idea, please post them in the comment section below. And as always, until next time.